What is admissibility? Or it's better to say admissibility hearing in Canada. We are seeing a lot of clients that they face with some issues regarding their immigration and they cannot stay in Canada because Canada immigration believes that this person is inadmissible to Canada and they cannot stay in Canada, they must be deported. These areas are very wide range of issues, but some of them I'm going to talk today about them, which are, in my opinion, the most common things that happen to people. If you are saying something wrong in your application forms, or if you tell lie in your application forms and Canada Immigration realizes that, it's going to be misrepresentation. Misrepresentation means that you told lie or you didn't tell the truth in your applications, and obviously based on that you should be deported from Canada. You cannot stay in Canada because you are inadmissible. I'm going to explain about it more in a few minutes, but another thing is, for example, if you are a permanent resident or if you are in the process of permanent residency, if you are driving under influence and a police is going to pull you over and they're going to question you for this, so obviously you're going to be in trouble because you did something which is a criminal activity in Canada and you cannot stay again legally in Canada because they want to deport you. You are inadmissible. Another thing, in some countries, because they, like, people have or are member of some group of governmental positions or governmental organizations, and they are doing something that Canada Immigration may believe that they are part of terrorist activities or terrorism, and they are doing activities against human rights. These people again are going to have some problems with inadmissibility and they're going to be sent for admissibility hearings. Now, what's going to happen is that if any of these cases happen to you, in some of them, CBSA or Canada Service Border Agency, what they're going to do for you is that Canada Border Services is on the first stage. They're gonna book you an appointment, which is an interview, and they're gonna ask you some questions about whatever concerns they have. It's very important to be prepared interviews because in these interviews they're gonna go over their concerns and they're gonna ask you some questions, most of the time detailed questions. You must know how to answer those questions, what to say, what not to say. So it's better to be with your lawyer or immigration professional or consultant, whoever is experienced in these applications, so they can support you and they can guide you through the process. The outcome of that interview can be two things. One of them is if the officer, the CBSA officer, is satisfied with your answers to the questions, then they may close the file and everything is going to be finished. You can continue process of your immigration in Canada. If not, they're going to refer your application for an admissibility hearing to the immigration divisions that they are responsible for your admissibility hearings. In that hearing, of course, there is a member who's going to decide about your application. Your lawyer, consultant, or any immigration professionals is going to be with you. Plus, if you need an interpreter, your interpreter is there. Plus, minister's counsel that is representing the government or the minister. In this interview, it's very important because they're going to question you about all the concerns, all the questions, all the problems, every issues that they have in your file. And they're going to also bring those questions that you had at the time of interview. So that's why we say, do not go for your interviews alone. It's better to ask for somebody to help you because those questions can be used for your hearing, sometimes against you. And then they're going to question you, and then finally they're going to decide whether you are inadmissible to Canada or you are admissible. This is important because there are a lot of cases that people have problems because I told you about their backgrounds. Maybe some of them are working or worked in some organizations that Canada Immigration doesn't believe them to be based on human rights, and they are doing some activities against that. Some people do the misrepresentation because they told lie in their application. By lie, I mean you didn't give them correct information. For example, if they ask you about your travel history, you must tell them all the details. If you ignore some dates and you do not put them there because you cannot remember, that's going to have some problems for you, because obviously you should give correct information and you are signing that form that every information that you are giving them is accurate, complete and true. If they ask you, for example, about any work history, address history, travels, have you been refused to Canada or any other country, you must answer these questions clearly, accurately. Because if Canada Immigration realizes that at any point you were telling lie to them, it's going to be misrepresentation, and then you're going to have again this process that I told you. Another thing about the applications that you do, or maybe admissibility problems, if you are driving under influence, that's again another problem. It doesn't matter if you are a permanent resident or if you are in the process of permanent residency. Because some people believe that, oh, I'm a permanent resident, nothing is going to happen to me. That's wrong, because even if you are a permanent resident, if you are doing something wrong, which is illegal, they can get your permanent residency and it can be revoked. So you should be very careful about this, because this stage is very important. And if Canada Immigration is on the idea that you cannot stay in Canada, obviously you're going to be inadmissible and you should leave Canada. On a final note, what is important, always if you want to do your application yourself, try to get help from those professionals who can guide you properly, because if you do your application yourself and you have some problems in it, later on you cannot say that I did it myself, or I asked ChatGPT, or maybe I read this on Google. It's not acceptable. These excuses are not acceptable, because you are responsible. You should get help from people that they are professional and they can help you with your application. So I hope this video is useful for you, and like you open your eyes more and more to these kind of real situations that sometimes unfortunately we see. And if you think that like this video can be useful for your friends, you can send it to them. If you have any question, you can be in touch with us. Thank you and have a great day.